You hired someone capable to take things off your plate. But 8 months in, your morning starts exactly the same way. A flooded inbox of summaries and a tight bottleneck of things that need your sign-off before your team can move forward. Handing something off is not the same as letting go of it. When you assign a task but keep the authority to approve the final action, you haven't delegated. You've created a messenger with extra steps. Your team learns this pattern quickly. Because they know the boss is ultimately watching and deciding every single move, they stop taking risks. They stop proposing experiments. They stop thinking like owners, and instead, they wait. To fix this, we are going to build a custom 3-step decision delegation plan, and we are going to use your actual to-do list from last week to do it. Transitioning from a task approver to an empowered leader requires a documented, actionable framework to physically transfer authority, rather than simply telling yourself to step back. Step 1. Audit and assign. Pull up your task list from the past week. Cross out the physical actions, the meetings, the phone calls, the document drafting. What remains underneath are the actual embedded decisions. There is a massive difference between completing a task and making a decision. Drafting an email to a client is a task. Deciding to hit send without letting you review it first is a decision. Look at this chart. List the decisions requiring your strict authority on the left, like final pricing or new hires. Put everything else on the right. These are delegated decisions, routine communications, timeline adjustments, and daily execution. If looking at that right column makes you feel a little nervous, you are doing this correctly. That discomfort is the feeling of actually releasing control. Review that list one more time and ask yourself a hard question. Does this item actually need my approval? Or am I asking for it out of habit? If a team member is physically capable of executing a task, but you withhold the decision-making power attached to it, actual delegation is impossible. Now that we know who is making which decisions, step 2 is establishing the rules of engagement for your team to operate within. We build a constraint frame. Outline the required outcome and build strict boundaries, like a strict $500 budget or a non-negotiable Friday deadline. Once set, stop telling them how to navigate the steps inside those borders. Your team should no longer ask you how to proceed. They should only escalate an issue if a boundary physically needs to be expanded. Resist the urge to prescribe the exact method. The moment you start dictating the steps, you shift ownership of the outcome right back onto your own shoulders. Defining rigid boundaries rather than rigid instructions gives your people the space to think. That mechanism is what actually drives independent action. Step 3. Change your feedback loop. Send a brief memo or schedule a short meeting to officially reset how your team communicates with you. Look at these 2 emails. You are moving from the old rule on the left, asking for sign-off before acting, to the new rule on the right. Decide, then tell me what you decided and why. When you enforce this, your inbox transforms. It stops being a stagnant list of pending approvals and becomes a real-time feed of automated progress. You will catch the occasional miss. Letting go means accepting that mistakes are mathematically inevitable when someone else is doing the work. When those misses happen, your job is to coach the decision-making logic. Ask them how they evaluated the options, but do not revoke their autonomy. Accepting and coaching through occasional errors is the price you pay to replace dependency with accountability. You now have a clear list of who owns which decisions. You have defined operational boundaries, and you have a new asynchronous reporting room in place. You have moved past merely offloading tasks to someone else's to-do list. You have structurally transferred authority. This shift allows your team to move independently, reclaiming the hours you used to spend monitoring their every move. To see where you currently stand, answer this hard question. Name one specific decision your team made last week without texting you first. Delegation does not exist until the person receiving the work actually owns the outcome, and you cannot own something when you need someone else's approval to move.